Thank you so much, ladies. What an honor. And I, too, am challenged by this podium. So I'm going to move around it. I might step over it. We're going to do whatever we have to do because the first rule of public speaking is to be seen and heard. First rule, first rule. I thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for the warm welcome and the invitation. Jasmine called me on a Saturday when I was laid up in bed, sick as a dog. I saw a phone number I didn't recognize. I was like, I better answer. This might be some test results. I hope I ain't got COVID. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it wasn't COVID. I had the flu. But I answered it, and it was Jasmine. And she said, you remember me? And then she took me back and made me feel really old, telling me about how we first met. But the moment that she spoke, I was positioning myself to say no. I have too many commitments. I have too much going on. I don't have time. And she talked for about 5 more minutes, and I was like, I know I'm going to do this, but let me tell her to call me on Monday so I can check my calendar, but I know I'm going to do this. And, of course, before she called me, I emailed her and said, I'm going to do this. So thank you again. I have to tell you, I have mixed emotions, right? A lot of times this charge is issued to us in a little bit of a different way than the way you all have framed it for your conference. So adjust my crown is the way you framed it for your conference. But you know the way we hear it in them streets is fix your crown, right? It's issued to us as a directive and as a charge of something that we need to do, and we need to do it now. And so I have some complex emotions about that charge, fixing your crown. And the reason is because a lot of times as black women, the direction is given to us because people know, as Jasmine just alluded to, people all over the world know that we know how to keep it moving. We know how to keep it moving, and we know how to keep it moving after things that other people cannot get up from. They can't get up. We can go through the most destabilizing, disruptive, traumatic events and get up and keep it moving. Did y'all see Sarah was preaching a few Sundays back? Wig came off, Sarah kept going. Sarah said, whatever. And then what did the sisters in the audience do? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Took the wigs off. We know how to keep it moving. And so the experiences that we have, that we keep it moving from, that we fix our crown and keep going from, they range everything from what happened to Sarah to things that are deeply and intensely personal. In the world, of course, knowing our history, we've been doing this for hundreds of years. Knowing our history and our capacity to do it just gives us the edict, fix your crown, keep on going, sister. We get it from mama, grandmama, friends, everybody. But we also get it from people who are not in the circle. And so my emotions are complex about it because what I don't want to do is I do not want to be a part of the chorus of people that we have to hear from on a regular basis who tell us to fix our crowns, not because of their belief and confidence in our capacity, but they tell us to fix our crowns because of their own limitations. Their limitations in their ability to meet us in the moment where we are faltering, where we are hurting, where we are weak, where we need support. People like to invite us to go someplace and have a drink and happy hour to anesthetize the pain of what is going on with us. How many times do people call and say, sis, you want to go for a walk? Do you just need me to come sit over there? Can I just sit with you? It's hard to watch your mother die. I'll be right there. So people a lot of times tell us, girl, fix your crown now, fix your crown. Not just because they think we can do it, but because they don't really want to put the emotional work in to being a support to us and to helping us heal and recover. And so the charge, fixing the crown, it's complex for me because I don't want to be a part of the group of people who do that to us. Now, on the other hand, there is the other way of looking at it, similar to what the theme here today suggests, right? There are people who tell us to fix our crowns that are in our circle. They're the people who hold us up. And when I think about the use of the phrase fix your crown or adjust your crown, as you all have co-opted it here, I'm reminded of something a college professor used to tell me. He would say, Tonya, words don't mean, people mean. And then he would challenge me after virtually everything I would say, and he was saying, what do you mean? And so the question today, when we talk about adjusting or fixing the crown, and we're doing it in this environment, sister to sister, is what do we mean about fixing and adjusting our crowns? When I think about that, I think about our amazing ability to walk with each other and endure the world around us, realities of the world around us, that we often have to walk alone, that we often have to go it alone. Sometimes even when we don't have to do it, the trauma of our existence in this space is such that it is the only way we know to go, and we go alone anyway. And when I think about it, I think about the beauty of how we walk next to each other and we lean on each other, walking through the world as it is while we pursue the world that we want. You know that world where we get to lean into the fullness of our humanity, where we get to be mothers and wives, where we get to be soft, where we get to be vulnerable. That world, don't stop. Don't stop pursuing that world. It's a worthy space. Don't stop. Even as we endure and manage and navigate the world that we're in, don't stop pursuing the world that we want. And part of not stopping is recognizing, yes, that we have to bear the lion's share of the responsibility for ourselves and each other to adjust our crowns. But there will be a day, we will keep fighting for it, where we get to return to our original place. We get to be the fullness of who we were created to be. And we'll keep pursuing that. But today, we are here to talk about how we do it. How do we adjust our crowns after we've suffered setbacks and letdowns? How do we do it? But before I can really get into talking about some strategies for adjusting the crown, I got to ask. And let me tell you, I'm in a season right now where I'm fixing my crown. So I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. If it was a mirror here, it'd be coming right back at me. Everything I say applies to Tonya Parker too. But before we get into how we fix it, I gotta ask 2 questions. How did the crown get off center and crooked in the first place? How did the crown get crooked in the first place? And then we'll get to the second question of what do we do about it. Now, when we talk about crowns in the physical and tangible sense, we know that we're talking about structures that get affixed to the top of people's heads in the form of a hat or a tiara, and they're symbolic, right? They are intended from ancient times by people all over the world. They are intended to symbolize everything from status to one's faith, to one's heritage, to one's culture, immortality, to one's social position, socioeconomic position, even one's place in a monarchy. And when we talk about crowns as we use the term now, we're talking about, we're using it largely metaphorically. When we talk about it in that sense, we're talking about it as a symbol, as Jasmine did, of dignity, peace, confidence, self-worth, pride. So if crowns are so valuable and they symbolize things that are so important and so priceless, how on earth do we let the crown get knocked off center? And in my humble estimation, based on my experience, this is my experience, I'm going to just be honest and transparent about it. It happened to me, what I'm saying, the ways that the crown got off center. It's 3 ways that the crown got off center. The first way, this is going to hurt. When I do speaking outside of the legal arena, I use the moniker, the whole truth, because that's what I come to tell. The whole truth. This one's going to hurt. It hurts me to say it. It's true. The first way the crown gets knocked off center is because we're moving in a way that queens don't move. The thing about the way that a queen moves regally, operates at and above her dignity, not below it, the crown don't get destabilized when you walk in like this. The crown does not get destabilized when you're walking at and above your own personal level of dignity. There was an occasion where I had to write a letter to somebody, and this was many years ago. I got to stress that since I'm married. Many years ago, when I was in a situation where I had to remind myself not to give the whole store away, including my dignity, and I wrote this letter. Dare you. I can give you time. I can give you money. I can give you a compliment. I can even give you joy or pleasure. But what I cannot do is give you my dignity. I can write you a song. I can take you places you've always dreamed of. I can give you even the desires of your heart. I can abide your quirky and sometimes cold ways. But what I cannot do is give you my dignity. I can pray for you. I can pray with you. I can give you forgiveness. I can grant you reprieve. I can be your sanctuary from the hell that is sometimes this world. But what I cannot do is give you my dignity. I can listen.